Mental math strategies for addition. In this video, we will discuss the following strategies to aid students with mental addition: making 10, using place value, and compensation. Before we begin, please note the meaning of the following mathematical terms that will be used throughout this video and in your child's classroom. Addend is the numbers being added together, and the sum is the total or the answer in an addition problem. In this example, the 6 and the 2 are addends, and the 8 is the sum. The first strategy we will discuss is making 10. In this strategy, students will look to make a group or groups of 10 within the addends. 10 is an easier number to work with when adding mentally. Then the students will add up the remaining numbers. For example, in the problem 9 plus 5, you can break the 5 into two parts, 1 and 4, making the equation 9 plus 1 plus 4. Then add the 9 and the 1 together to make a group of 10. Finally, you're left with 10 plus 4 to give you a sum of 14. Another example would be the equation 6 plus 7 plus 4. Remember, in addition, you can change the order of the addends and it does not affect the sum. So let's rearrange this equation to be 6 plus 4 plus 7. That will allow us to add the 6 and the 4 together to make a group of 10. Then all we have left to do is add the 7 to the 10 to get a total of 17. Now you try one. Pause the video while you work. You can break the 6 into 4 and 2. Then you can add the 2 and the 8 together to get 10. Add the 4 to the 10 to get a final sum of 14 as your final answer. The next strategy we will review is using place value. In this strategy, students will use the values of each digit to add the numbers. For example, in the equation 28 plus 29, you can break the 28 into two parts, 20 and 8. And you can break the number 29 into two parts, 20 and 9. From this point, you would add the tens together. In this case, we have two tens, or 20, plus two more tens, to equal 4 tens, or 40. Then you would add the 8 and the 9 together to equal 17. Finally, add the 40 and the 17 to get your final sum of 57. Now you try. Remember to pause the video while you work. Did you break the 36 into 30 and 6? And then break the 22 into 20 and 2? Then add your tens together. 30 plus 20 equals 50. And now add your ones together. 6 plus 2 equals 8. And finally, add your 50 plus 8 to get a final sum of 58. Great job! The final strategy we will review is compensation. To compensate, students will either adjust one of the numbers and then the answer, or adjust both of the numbers in opposite directions. An example of adjusting one number would be using the equation 46 plus 19 In this example, students can adjust the 19 by adding 1 to give you 46 plus 20, adding up to 66. To compensate, you would subtract 1 to get 65 as your final sum. An example of adjusting both numbers using the same equation would be if you added 1 to the 19 and then to compensate, subtracted 1 from the 46, giving you a new equation of 45 plus 20, or 65 as your final answer. It is important to note that when compensating, you can add or subtract any number, not just one, as long as you compensate for the change that you made to the equation. Now you try 137 plus 98. Remember to pause the video while you work. If you chose to compensate by adjusting one number, you could add 2 to 98 to get 100 plus 137, which would give you 237. Then to compensate, you would subtract 2, leaving you with your final answer of 235. If you chose to compensate by adjusting both numbers, you could add 2 to 98 to get 100, and compensate by subtracting 2 from 137 to get 135. Then add both of those together to get a total sum of 235.